Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Accessible Alt Text with AI. This is a replacement session here at 1 o'clock for Stanford WebCamp 2025. Kevin Murphy will be presenting. Kevin, I turn it over to you.
Hello, everybody. And yes, this is a replacement. So I just so some of this I'm gonna apologize in advance. I did kind of hack this together this morning, this presentation, from a longer presentation that I did earlier this year. That's just a little caveat there. Um, I just wanted to start real fast with one slide deck. There we go. Um, just so we're all on the same page about two things. There's different types of images that you're going to have on your website. Informative, that's the kind you write alt text for. Decorative, that's the kind you leave the alt text blank on. And functional, where when you do have an alt text, it's about what the image is doing rather than what the image looks like. For the purposes of my talk, we're going to assume that everything is informative. What makes a good alt text? I break it down into three things. It needs to be accurate. That's pretty obvious. You can't put incorrect information into an alt text. It needs to be concise. There's no hard and fast rule, but under 200 characters is generally a pretty good number to shoot for. It used to be that we would say it has to be under 120 characters because that's when a screen reader would cut off, and that doesn't happen anymore. But these days, we still want it to be pretty short, and we need it to be equivalent, and that's the biggest and most important one. Why did you put that picture on the page? That's the most important reason for that picture to exist. So with those things out of the way, we're going to talk about alt text and generating alt text using AI. And I'm going to start by saying, up until this year, I would always tell people don't use AI at all. So this is new for me. I didn't believe in doing this at all, but now I can see where the benefit is, and so that's what I wanted to talk about. And I'm using throughout all the examples, I'm using the Stanford's AI Playground and using ChatGPT 4 model to create these alt texts. So we're going to start by looking at this picture here. It's a picture of some sea lions at Pier 39. I'm sure some of you have been there, or not all of you. So you can see this picture. You can actually probably, if you've been there, you can probably smell this picture too. It's quite a memory. So I took this picture and I threw it into ChatGPT and said, write an alt text for this image. That's all I did. That was my entire prompt. And what I got back was a text, and that's what it gave back. That gave me back. This isn't bad, but it's not good enough. And there's a couple of things I want to point out when I want you to be thinking about these with a critical eye. So we'll start with, it's a lively scene at Pier 39. It chose that word. Now, if you've ever been there, you know that those sea lions are sleeping 95% of the time. They get up and bark at each other, and then they go back to sleep. So is the word lively the right word there? I would say probably no. The next thing I want to point out is it talks about a single seagull stands on the dock in the foreground, and that's true. It's an accurate statement. But if I'm putting this picture, the context of this picture is about the sea lions, because that's what's really here. The fact that the seagull is there is irrelevant. So I would leave that out. However, if this was a picture about the biodiversity of San Francisco Bay, then the seagull is important because it's the interaction between the seagulls and the sea lions. But if that's true, we got to talk about all three seagulls. There's not just the one, there's two others in the picture as well that ChatGPT didn't recognize and didn't mention. So why mention the one and not the other two? The next sentence, the background shows a calm water body. Well, I know what that water body is called. It's called San Francisco Bay. So let's identify it. Let's not just, take what they said here. And then also finally, there's a sign that reads Pier 39. Um, yeah, that's true. But there's two signs. Again, it mentioned the one sign, but there's a second sign back there as well. So why did we talk about the one and not the other? Um, this is the stuff we have to look at when we get this. So now I took this and I rewrote it. This took me much less time to rewrite this paragraph, this alt text, than it would have if I had started from scratch. The whole second sentence, the sea lions are in various positions, that I took word for word from what ChatGPT absolutely did that right. But I rewrote just about everything else. But I used it as the basis for my alt text. And that's what's good and important here is you can take this and you have a starting spot to rewrite, but you must rewrite. Now, I just used hey, ChatGPT, write an alt text for this image. That's all I did. But we can change the prompt. We can give more information to the prompt. So let's take a look at this picture. And I just said, first, write an alt text for this image. And we'll focus here on the first sentence. It's a group of 5 men dressed in formal attire gathered around a mechanical apparatus. Well, I happen to know that that's a type A klystron. I mean, obviously, everybody knows that that's a type A klystron. Um, I had no idea what a type A klystron was until, but this from the page that I pulled this off of, that's what it was identified as. So I can change my prompt and I can say, write an alt text for this image of people examining a type A klystron. And notice how it changed my first sentence. It's now saying they're examining a type A klystron, a type of vacuum tube used in radio frequency applications. So it identified what it was and it went out and found more information about it and stuck a little bit of information in there about it. So by changing my prompt, I got a better alt text out of it. So by feeding it more information, then it's going to give you a better output. But again, we must look at some of the parts of this. And I would look at the whole thing, of course, but I want to pull out two things that I want to talk about. So it wrote it differently each time, but it's wrong both times. The person there is not drawing or writing or sketching. There's something that looks like maybe a piece of paper in front of them, but that's not what they're doing. They're kneeling down and examining the device and talking to their colleagues. And there happens to be a piece of paper in front of them. So ChatGPT got that wrong. The other thing I wanted to point out, though, too, because I thought this was really interesting. When I didn't identify the device, it says that this was a classroom or a workshop, and this is about an academic atmosphere of the scene. But when I did identify the device, it said that it's a workshop or a laboratory, saying it's engineering or scientific exploration. Subtle difference. Yeah, I get it. But the fact that I changed one part, ChatGPT changed a different part that was unrelated to what the prompt part that I added in. So that's what's kind of interesting here is that when you do change this, it's going to change the whole thing, even unrelated things. You may or may not get the one prompt that is the right prompt. So I would probably take that first sentence, in the first one, I would probably take that last sentence from my first alt text request and not the second one. So I'd mix the two together. So, a couple of things about doing this, you want to prompt with known data. You want to say, don't just say write an alt text, say write an alt text about this, or write an alt text in the context of this. You can also say, hey, write me an alt text that's 150 characters or less. And I'll tell you too that if you're just prompting, hey, write an alt text, you have nothing else to say about it, you don't know anything, there's no other context for you to put it in there into that prompt, it's probably a decorative image. And you probably should just mark it as decorative instead. So it's just keep that in the back of your mind, that if you don't have anything to say about it, then you probably don't need to have an alt text. You need to have a null alt text on it. So a couple more little, whoops, wrong direction. So again, here's another example. And I just said, write alt text for this image. This is all well and good. And again, I need to go through and edit it. And there's a bunch of stuff in there that's kind of irrelevant. But what if I put this on a page about street parking in San Francisco? So here's my new prompt, and it's changed my what it put out to talk about the limited parking space. The driveway is very narrow, et cetera, et cetera. Then it still goes on and talks about other parts that are not irrelevant. And again, I can also prompt for length and say, hey, write an alt text that's 150 characters or less, and it threw out this, which is 145 characters. Now, if this was a news article about a string of home invasion robberies, that's going to be a completely different alt text, right? For the reason I put this here. If I was using this exact same image on the Sherwin-Williams paint website, then the exact shade of blue is what would be important. So again, that's the kind of thing that I would need to prompt into ChatGPT to get a good result. So as of January 2025, when I first put this presentation together, I kind of gave each of those three criteria I gave at the beginning. I gave ChatGPT a grade for each one. Accurate, probably a B-. It gets a lot of it accurate, but it pulls in things that are not relevant. It doesn't know what parts to focus on. Concise, this ChatGPT gets an F unless you are prompting it to say, write an alt text of a specific length. And equivalent, again, it will get you part way there, but the equivalency is something you have to prompt for. Now, complex images. This is where ChatGPT can kind of help out a little bit even more, I've felt. So first of all, again, background information here. You have a complex image like this. How do you do an alt text that's 150 characters or less? You can't. So what can you do? Well, you might be able to summarize, depending on, I wouldn't summarize for this chart. This is too much information. You could link to another page, or if it's in the case of a bar chart or something, you could link to a table of data, which could be, the link could be next to it. The description could be somewhere else. There's some ways of structurally associating the image and the long description, which I'm not going to get into, but there's a couple ways you can do that. Then you could also look at the body copy of your page to look at and see, hey, maybe you've completely covered all this content in the body copy, and this is just a visual representation of what's been talked about. In which case, then you can just write a very short alt text. But again, let's talk about taking some of these things and throwing them into ChatGPT and seeing what happens. Well, here is a pretty typical kind of bar chart. It was an image, had no alt text on it in this particular case when I found it. So it didn't present any of this information at all. And I said, okay, ChatGPT, write an alt text for this image. And this is what it gave me. It actually told me it's a bar chart. It's a horizontal bar chart even. And it pulled out all of the data. Now, again, this doesn't meet our concise rule. This is a lot of characters. It's 1,292 characters, actually, what it put out there. So how would I solve this? I would take this, write a short alt text for the image, with the most important pieces that I wanted to highlight, the fact that Valdier is number one, or Rossini is number 100 is number two, with 119. But then I would add a link and say, okay, here are the details about this chart, and then on that page I would build a bulleted list of all that information. But now you say to me, Kevin, I don't know how to build a bulleted list in HTML. That's too much work to make all of those things as a bulleted list. Well, this right here is the best thing you can use ChatGPT for. I took this and said, hey, here are all the names. Make an HTML formatted bulleted list out of this information. And it did. Took 10 seconds. And it was done. So then I could copy that, paste it into my CMS. So this kind of stuff is exactly what you should use ChatGPT for. Take that mundane work that's just busy work off your hands and throw it into AI. Make a formatted table of this data, an HTML formatted data of this, table of this data. Here's a list of 100 names. Make a bulleted list out of it. It does it immediately. So this is the kind of stuff that's where ChatGPT really does come into its own. Here's another one I wanted to mention, just because it did actually a very accurate alt text of this image, but it's still just a little wordy, And again, I would take that that image. Just all I did was delete a bunch of stuff, and I cut it down to 192 characters to represent that bar chart. But getting even more complicated, here's another one. It's a bit on the more complicated side. It still does a pretty good job of getting all the data. Again, I would probably put the list of all the points into another page. It doesn't mention the colors at all in this chart, which I think might be important. Because you are identifying them by type using color. That's something that was not represented in the data that ChatGPT gave out, but it's something that maybe you need to put in. So just something to keep in mind. But it didn't do a bad job. You would certainly be able to understand a lot of this from this image. And I wanted to throw this one in here too, because this chart here and what ChatGPT gave is basically indecipherable. What's described here, it's got all the right words, but reading this description would get you no closer to understanding what this chart is, unfortunately. So this is the case where it really just kind of fails. It's too complex of an image, too complex of a chart in order for people to really understand what's in here. And the final example I give before I'm going to do a couple little examples here is I took a book page and threw that into ChatGPT just to see what would happen. I expected it to fail. I'll be honest with you. I went in there with the idea that this is going to just give me garbage, and it didn't. And this was the most surprising one that I had in all of my little experimenting with ChatGPT and the alt text. Now, big caveat here: I'm not a scientist. I have a couple of degrees in music, so I can't tell you for a fact that this is a really good, accurate summary of what these 2 pages of the book are, even if I were to have read it. But I'm going to guess it's probably close enough. to find out whether or not you want this book or not. If you're a non-visual person and you want to determine whether or not you need to have a book done in with OCR. And Sean, who's moderating this, has told the story of back many years ago when he was in another department at Stanford, spending a lot of time and effort to get a book done in OCR for a student for their research, probably a doctoral student or something. And a lot of time, money, and effort to get that done. Followed up with him later and said, "Hey, how'd that book work out for you?" And to be told, that actually wasn't the right book. So I never ended up using it. So it's certainly, if you had done this first, if we had this capability back in that day, would this have been good enough for that student to find out, hey, you know what? This is the book I need, or actually, you know what? This isn't the book I need. This is not the one I'm looking for. And this might be good enough for that kind of stuff. And then you can determine, hey, yeah, okay, this is the book I want. Would you please give me an OCR version of it? All right, I have some examples and other exercises here with some alt text, but I'll pause here real fast if there's any questions from the room or in online. I think if you're online, you can just unmute. All right, I'm not hearing any questions.
No questions from the room here, Kevin.
Great. Okay, so a couple of little exercises, and I'm also gonna, I also have a ChatGPT up and ready to go. So we'll throw some images in it on the fly and see what happens. Here's another one that I threw into ChatGPT. Again, I pulled this out of a different presentation here. So this was the context of the page that was on, because again, context is important. So I said to ChatGPT, hey, write an alt text for this image. And it gave me, well, pretty good. A pretty good description of it, except a couple of things. First of all, the crocodile is not partially submerged in water. He's fully outside of the water. It's also, his skin is mix of gray and black, but I see some green in there too, and that's maybe kind of important. So I rewrote that. I rewrote that alt text from ChatGPT. Again, taking what ChatGPT said and just editing it got me there quicker than if I had just started writing from scratch. Another example, and again, that was the context of the page. It was where it was on the page. And I wanted to bring this one up because in the body copy, it really did talk about what was in the picture. It really did describe it. In this particular case here, the current alt text that was on the website was this, which is not accurate, because there's actually 4 people in that picture, and the alt text only calls out 2 of them, even though all 4 of them are mentioned in the body copy. So all 4 of them are important, but the only 2 got mentioned. So what I threw in there was, this is what I would have done, because again, the body copy had all the details about this picture in it, and there was even more in there than what I clipped in. Just for fun, threw it into ChatGPT and said, "Hey, what is it?" I thought this was interesting, the fact that ChatGPT only found 3 people in this picture. It didn't find 4. So again, but it did find the fact that somebody had their purse on the table. So that's great, but completely irrelevant. So yeah, again, it got me part way there, but it wasn't good enough. But again, it helped me out. Here's another picture that I thought was kind of interesting. This is from an art exhibit. And it actually did a pretty good job here of describing the image. Again, not being the artist or being a art historian, I probably would need to edit this. I would need to get a subject matter expert to maybe take a look at this and see if this is good enough, or, I don't know this particular artist, so I don't know, are they really well known for their use of the color that they're using here? If so, then I would make a bigger deal about that in the alt text. But again, we're getting close here with this image. There is a second image, the next section artwork on there. And for this one here, I did prompt it with the title of the painting, because if I didn't do that, it said that there was a creature in the middle. But if I prompted it with just the title of the work, it then identified it as a dragon in the middle. So it's just having that, adding that extra little bit of prompt really did kind of make it more of an accurate alt text that I could use. All right, so what I'm going to do, I've got the playground here, and we're going to take a picture here. Oops. Wrong one, wrong picture. And we're going to take our old sea lions picture. I'm going to throw it in here and say, again, right. See if it gives me something different today. But what I want you to think about is, what should my prompt be to get a better alt text? And I'll throw out the context that this is about biodiversity in San Francisco Bay. So this one here said, now it's saying it's a bustling scene. Again, bad word. If I identified the boat this time, which it didn't before, that's interesting. It did catch both signs too. Interesting. So what should my prompt be if I wanted to talk about biodiversity? Anyone want to throw out a suggestion? All right, well then I'll suggest, I'll try one here. Highlighting and it's given me a completely different alt text, and talks a little bit more about the biodiversity of the image. It pulls in the more about the seagull and the human interaction. So again, taking this and prompting it with better, a better choice there. I see Sean has his hand raised.
Kevin, I just, out of curiosity, have you tried doing the comparisons, using the Stanford AI Playground and using the comparison function to like get two different text descriptions?
No, I haven't really played with that yet, but yes, that is, I know that people have done that a bunch, where you've fired into 4 or 5 different different AI models and have it write the different descriptions. I'm going to imagine that they're all going to get you to a point that is close enough for you to start rewriting. And they're all going to get you to that kind of point and not, you're still going to have to rewrite no matter what. So they'll all get you to a first step.
Got it. Thanks.
One note, Kevin, you could, if you did the plus sign, you could add a second model and you would get both prompts at the same time. So you could get a second one without having to wait and do it manually.
Where do I put the plus?
Oh, at the top, where it says like next to mini, then there's on the far right, there's that little plus sign. So you would choose that button, and then you'd move over to where it says Azure OpenAI. You would just choose a different one.
I get the sense that you probably need to rewrite the one on the left.
Well, this first part here is all just about its thought process. And so what the alt text that it actually put out was this down here at the this part here is what it suggested as the alt text. All of this up here is how it got there, which is interesting.
That is how DeepSeek works. That model always tells you what it thought first, and then it provides the answer.
Yeah. So yeah, again, different prompts into different models is going to get you different results. And again, none of them, because even this one, even with its thinking, again, it says lively display. I'm not sure that's the right word. But this one doesn't. Oh, yeah, it does mention the one seagull, but again, it misses the other two, et cetera, et cetera. The last thing I did want to say too is, and I ran this prompt earlier, was that book that I put in there. I said, hey, provide the text for this image of the book, and it actually did do that. So it did do an OCR. Now this is the top of page 2. That's this part way up here. So you would need to go in and probably edit some of that stuff out. But yeah, here's all the text. It did a pretty good job looking, from what I can see anyways, of my spot checking of it. It's pretty darn accurate in terms of OCRing this book. So again, this is the kind of area where I think AI is going to have the most impact, especially for this kind of thing where you've got an inaccessible picture of a book, having it go through and OCR the text for you. That's probably going to be the most impactful part for accessibility and alt text and AI. That's just my opinion. We'll see how that ends up. And with that, that's all I've got to say. But we have a few minutes for questions, or if you want me to try a different prompt or a different image, I've got a few other images loaded up that I could throw in here.
Are there any other questions at this time? It doesn't look like it, Kevin.
All right, well, then I'm going to throw in some other images. Just to see what I get. Oh, look, it's Magic Kingdom.
I assume you'll be paying copyright royalties to the Disney Corporation for this.
Considering how much money I spend at Disney, they owe me a bit. Um, okay, so this is interesting because I did this one earlier and it didn't identify it it didn't actually identify it as Main Street in Disney. It said that it was in a theme park, but it didn't identify the park earlier today. Now it has, because I've reprompted it later and said in the context of the fact that this is a Disney Main Street in Magic Kingdom. So I'm wondering if now it is, yeah, because was it this request? Yeah, so here was my first take at this, which is interesting. Um, it doesn't say anything at all about Disney. Um, it does say that it's in a theme park setting. So then I prompted it later for this is about Main Street and Disneyland. Then I said, hey, write the context for this at Disneyland in the context of the weather. And it brought in that, hey, it's a peaceful scene and it's a warm, looks like a um, warm day. But now when I put in that alt text, it actually identifies the fact that it's Disney. So I think it has learned from my earlier request. That's interesting. Fascinating. Fascinating. Let's try a different image. I just wanted to, I wanted to see what this would do because I was very actually curious. Um, because this is a still from a movie, Monsters Inc. If you're unfamiliar with the movie, actually did better than I thought I was going to.
Just to give you some reinforcement, there was some nods of pretty good on this side of the.
Yeah. So again, how much editing I'd have to do on this one is probably not very much, and it's probably pretty close. Um, but I don't know. I've got one more that I'm going to throw in here because I got 5 more minutes here. This was on the one screen that I had. If you remember when I was talking about techniques for doing complex images, that's the image that I had on the screen. But I didn't have a generated alt text for that. Let's try it and see what happens. Because this is very complex in terms of we got pictures, we've got a lot of text. All right, so again, it's given me a lot of stuff, but it didn't give me every word from this poster. Um, and it also says overall the design is informative and visually engaging. How do you know that? Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I'm going to throw the same one in here again, and I'm going to ask, give me all the text from this image. All right. I've got all the text from this image. Let's see what happens. I think it did a really good job at this. I would probably still need to edit some of it, but it put in headings, it put in lists, it did all the parts I wanted it to do. And it's actually in pretty good shape. So when you come to me and say, well, I don't have time to write an alt text, make a copy of all the words out of this picture and put it into a separate web page, I'm going to tell you, no, you absolutely could do that, because here I just did it and it took me to 15 seconds, right? So yeah, that's really interesting, isn't it? At least I think it's really interesting. So I've got an alt text, and I've got the complete text of this image with just 2 prompts and then a, hey, format this. And I probably could have, give me all the text from this image and format it as HTML. I probably could have done that in a single prompt. Any other questions or comments or anything?
Nothing at this end, Kevin.
All right. Well, then we're just about out of time anyway. So hope this was interesting to you. It's like I said, it's been very interesting to me, because I was very anti AI and accessibility stuff. And I'm now, my position has softened. It's not 100%, hey, yeah, just use AI for everything. But there is definitely a place where you can use it to help you speed up your process, especially with writing alt text on complex images. And with that, thank you all, and have a good rest of your webcamp.
Thank you, Kevin. And this recording will be posted to the site when it's done processing. Thanks all. Have a good webcam.
Bye-bye.